Welcome back once again to Research Fantasy presents the NBA Fantasy Baller DFS edition. I'm your host, Nikola Vucevic, better known as Nick from CWE on all of your favorite daily fantasy sites. I'm going to keep this video short. I'm not going to be playing too much today. I have far too much to do. Count my research as about 80% of what I normally do, which should still be good enough. Recapping last night, we had Gary Harris at 5,500 on DraftKings, who came through with over 32 fantasy points. Stephen Curry at 9,500, who I believe hit 45 to 47, maybe 50. I don't recall offhand, but he was a fair enough play. Finally, we had DeMarcus Cousins, who very clearly and obviously was going to destroy Sacramento, and he did just that. Moving on to tonight, I don't have the pricing for you offhand, but while doing my research yesterday, there were a handful of guys who stood out to me. Number one is going to be Nikola Vucevic at 7,600 on DraftKings specifically. That's the site that I have open right now. Put up a dud in a pretty decent matchup against Al Horford last night. Really thought he was going to come through a little bit better than he did. It didn't happen. His production was all in the second half, and it didn't come close to hitting value. Thankfully, I dodged a high ownership percentage on him. Tonight, though, Brooklyn, we know what Brook Lopez does. I don't think Vuk is going to be able to defend Brook very well, but conversely, I don't think Brook's going to be able to defend Vuk that well because Brook just basically doesn't defend that well. At this price, I think there's plenty of room for upside, and he's a guy I definitely want to have in my lineups tonight. Next up, there's two guys you could consider. We'll just consider this one play, and I think both of them have similar floors and similar ceilings. You might laugh at that in a sense because of what one of them just did. Tyler Ulis, 7,100 on DraftKings. Devin Booker, 7,500. And the laughter part is obviously Devin Booker just put up a 91 fantasy point game. That's not called a ceiling. That's called an anomaly. A ceiling is a guy like Cousins who hits 70, 5 to 8 times a year. That's a ceiling. Booker is probably never in his career going to hit 90 fantasy points again. I think what you're looking at here is two guys who are going to play an excess amount of minutes tonight. I wouldn't be shocked to see both of them anywhere between 38 and 42. They're priced too cheap. Portland down Nurkic is going to be a big deal because now they're going to have to rely on guys like Myers Leonard, who's been around as long as I've been playing DFS, and that should tell you something, that he's just not that good of a player in that time to have broken through to have a good run with this team. You're going to have Noah Vonleh, who's improving but is still very far away from being a good basketball player. I can hardly imagine Al-Farouq Aminu being able to handle everything on his own. So I think both of these guys have like 45-point upside tonight. I'm going to be sure to have a lot of them in my lineups. And my favorite play is Damian Lillard. Now, with Nurkic out, this changes things completely. I'm hoping it changes things to the positive. Portland plays this game at home. Phoenix tends to do better on the road, or at home, I'm sorry. So while I think that they'll stay in it long enough for Lillard to do what he has to do, now we're talking about taking a guy off the floor who was basically handling everything for the team within the paint. Lillard's going to have to be relied on to provide more offensively, which is going to be difficult because he's already been doing that. But the price doesn't match what he's been doing. 9,700 sounds like a high price until you look through the box scores and you see how many times he's approaching 60. No reason not to go there. The Phoenix Suns probably, if not actually, the best team to target for point guards. Highest pace, one of the highest paces in the league, and they're awful defensively. So to wrap it up, we've got Nikola Vucevic. I don't know why I said his name like that time. We have Tyler Ulis / Devin Booker, and we have Damian Lillard. Thank you for joining. We'll be back with our baseball video tonight and our value plays momentarily. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to researchfantasy.com, sign up for our NBA mailing list. Find us on Facebook, like us there, follow us on Twitter at Research and Win, and join us again tomorrow.